Hey guys, it's San and welcome back to the BulbaSquad. Sorry, I'm a little more relaxed today. I decided we're gonna have kind of a more open-ended conversation today. So we're gonna be talking about evolutions and the possibility of a reprint, how exactly we should really go about it, because I realize right now there's a lot of people who are very concerned that evolutions may have a reprint. There's a lot of rumors going around, distributors who are convinced, card stores who are convinced, various leaks that keep kind of popping up that Evolutions is going to get reprinted. But first and foremost, I want to pre-emphasize this. For those people who are about to leave because they don't want to stay very long for the video, um, I, I think you should just play it safe, alright? Play it safe, sell half of your stuff, just break even, alright? So there you go for those. So at least you guys can walk away with something. So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, there is no 100% confirmation that Evolutions is getting a reprint or not getting a reprint, okay? All we know at the moment is that Pokemon is very busy with a lot of things. A lot of reprints. They're still trying to catch up on the Ultra Premium collections. They're still trying to print more Vivid Voltage. We got another wave of Darkness Ablaze coming. Shining Fates is coming. Lots of things coming this year. So that's what we do know, but Evolutions we don't know of yet. So I wanted to have an actual discussion on it, alright? And I thought this would be more appropriate simply because this isn't. I'm not telling you concrete facts or anything. We're having a talk, alright? So, I initially, whenever I evaluated Evolutions the first time, when I decided to invest in it a long time ago, I had a video kind of predicting that Evolutions would spike. I'm going to link that video down below where essentially I saw what was happening in the market and I decided, you know what, Evolution seems ripe for investment, so I went in it. I didn't quite expect it to spike so hard, but it did. But I did expect some sort of spike. And I thought that maybe they wouldn't reprint it because it's so old. However, as I've done some more research and actually evaluated it a little more, I realized Evolutions doesn't fit the conventional set. Evolutions from the get-go was a reprint of base set, so it was never really something you were seeing in the TCG. It was very collector driven. So that right away threw out my rat system, which I'll make a video on that later for you guys, showing like, oh, the more it increases, the higher the risk of the reprint, because this doesn't exactly. Once it was out of rotation, it didn't mean that it was completely safe. So after a while, I decided, you know what, it is possible for them to reprint it because this doesn't fall under a conventional place. So with that in mind, I thought, you know what? Let's say theoretically there might be a reprint coming. We don't know, of course, okay? I'm not saying there is. You have three options for how you want to approach this. You can either choose to sell it all off. You can choose to just be bold, hold on to it, or you can sell until you break even. So here are the pros and cons to each of them. If you sell it all off, the pros are you've already cashed in. You no longer have to worry about a reprint coming. The cons are if no reprint ever comes, you just sold out of a market and you're going to have to buy back in. And once everyone knows that no reprint is coming, then the prices are going to spike. Why? Because right now the prices are a little more wonky because a lot of people are on edge. And that's why I wanted to make this video. And the other option is just sitting on the money. The pro is if there is no reprint, you get to just keep writing it up. Real nice. The con, however, is if a reprint does come, you're going to be the one. Sorry about that. You're going to be the one holding the knife. You're going to be caught with it. You won't be able to get rid of it, or you're going to end up selling at next to no profit, if any, depending on how big a reprint would come theoretically. And the third option is you sell until you break even. This is what I advise people do. The reason I say this is we can't be certain that a reprint is coming or isn't coming. However, with the way Pokemon has been behaving, and I myself have said it, we have come into a new era of reprints. Pokemon seems to have figured out how to properly do reprints in such a way that they do not collapse the market. That's why we've been seeing lots of little Hidden Fates reprints. That's why it seems like Vivid Voltage and Darkness Ablaze they've been getting nice waves coming, but nothing massive, nothing like that's a 1-to-1 scale. So, sorry guys, I lost my train of thought there. So, essentially, Pokemon has shown they're a lot more willing to do reprints now, and so I feel as though, taking everything into account, the massive price spike in evolutions, the fact that it's not exactly a ordinary set, and we're now in another anniversary, and this is the previous anniversary set, I think the odds of a reprint have increased. So that being said, I think we have moved past the point of simply sitting on it is a good idea. So a lot of people are going to make the argument that I'm a long-term investor, it doesn't matter. But the issue is, if you're really an investor and not just... Honestly, I'm not a fan of the whole idea of you just kind of buy it, throw it in a closet, and forget about it. I like optimization. If you're going to invest, you mean it. You're going to invest. You're going to actually evaluate your opportunity cost. Try to drive it down as much as you can. Try to salvage wherever you can. Some people are okay with the increased opportunity cost. Others aren't. I'm personally not okay with it. So simply holding on to it, writing out that reprint, and thinking eventually it'll go to $1,000 plus a booster box. I don't think that's a fantastic idea because, again, it's going to drive up your opportunity cost. However, selling completely out of it, I don't think that's a good idea either because, again, there's always the opportunity that you're wrong. And if you're wrong, you're going to be kicking yourself because now you got to buy back in. So the good middle ground is selling until you break even. So this break even point actually changes for some people. Some people see it as sell half your inventory. Others will see it as just selling until you are at a net zero and you're playing with the house's money. That is typically what I'd like to do. However, I decided this time around I'll sell a little more because I can reallocate the cash and do other things with it. But that's my recommendation. Sell until you break even, whichever way you think is best. And for any of you who ended up purchasing evolutions at the $300 plus price point, honestly, I don't really know what to tell you guys. There's no real good options at that point. I would almost say just sell and hope you break even because at $300 a price or above, your risk level is much higher than someone who purchased it at $100 a booster box. So at that level, $300, I'd say maybe even somewhere in the mid 200s. Just maybe consider selling just to be careful because otherwise, if there is a reprint, it will hit you very, very hard. Now, I know a lot of people are anxious out there about, will the reprint come, will it not? And a lot of people are worried about making the wrong decision. I myself am a little too. And I wanted to reassure you guys, it's okay to accidentally sell early, alright? It's okay to cash in before you've hit that peak. Let's say you had a WotC booster box and you sold it whenever it was 10k cheaper than where the peak is now. That's okay. Because so in cases like this, if you are genuinely worried and feel in your gut that something like this will happen, like something's going to happen, your price is going to lower, it's okay to cash in. Because at the end of the day, there's one very big difference in between the person who was holding it and the person who was selling. So if you sold early and it kept going up, That's okay. You still got the money. You could possibly buy back in if you wanted to. You would have to pay more, but that's just the breaks, all right? You can't. It's not always perfect. However, if you just chose to hold it and you were wrong and it tanked, that's it. You don't get to rewind time. You don't get to suddenly turn around and try to cash in. Let's say Evolution gets reprinted. You don't get to turn around and cash in $430 a booster box. No. You're going to have to compete with everyone else trying to get out of the market at 200 or below. And if you bought in too high, you're going to lose money. If you bought in at the nice $100 or less price point, you're still going to have your opportunity cost spike. The difference in between those two people is one of them actually gets the ability to have a choice. The other one, it's not necessarily a choice. You're choosing between a rock and a hard place. Either you choose to lose money, you choose to accept that you messed up, or you have to write it out. Other case, you can buy back in. You can buy back in or reinvest the money elsewhere. So it is okay to sell early. One of the most Timmy mindsets, just as Alpha Investments Rudy says, and I heavily agree with it, is being upset about cashing in too early. It's one of the worst things I'm seeing right now in the newest investors. Everyone, whenever they sell early, usually stops and goes, I should have held it. I'll tell you guys right now, when Evolution's going up, I was a little worried that maybe because it exploded so heavily, it would retrace really quickly. So you know what I did? I hopped online, I threw up a booster box for 360, and overnight it became the lowest on the market. So then I threw up another one for, I believe it was 375. Again, overnight it became the lowest on the market, and I threw another one up for 390 overnight, lowest on the market, and it went up to 450. I sold it early, and that was okay. Why? Because again, if I had been right in my hunch and it did retrace heavily, I would have at least been able to cash out. But even though it didn't, that's okay. I still got the money and I could still do things with it. I could still buy the booster boxes back if I really wanted to. And so I hope this discussion helped you guys. I know almost nobody's going to be here at the end of the video. I ask you guys can leave a comment talking about this little story to let me know that one person actually sat through to this point, because I know nobody ever sits past like the 5-minute mark. Alright, so I'm happy you guys sat through this chat with me. I hope I really managed to shed some light on this whole Evolutions debacle, because I know this is very nerve-wracking for a lot of people, especially the newest people in the game, because this is a very unknown situation. So thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you guys next time.